Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers would practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv and spring has sprung. Boing! At least here in Utah. And it's Easter time. So, little disclaimer, this year is a little bit different than other years. We all know that. This whole COVID-19 thing and the shelter in place or the stay-at-home order, whatever you want to call it, has just really kind of changed the world for everybody. And for me, tell you what, I like social events. I like get-togethers, things like that. And since I can't do that right now, I'm not in the holiday spirit. Sorry. So I'll celebrate Easter as a religious holiday. Great. But doing the Easter bunny and the Easter dresses and having the whole family over, which is what we used to do, 50, 60 of us get together that ain't happening this year. So just like with the other holidays that have kind of fallen into this area of this period of time, I'm really not doing anything. Sorry, folks, no Easter train this year. I do have, though, a train for April, and we're going to show you that. And there's been a lot of progress made on the layout this month, and we're going to show you that. So there is some really cool things that have happened, and I'm just not doing an Easter train this year, so... And just so you know, I'm not celebrating my birthday this year either, so I don't get any older. There you go. Let's take a look at what we've done, shall we?
So I had this old Tyco, I don't know what you call it. You push a button and it causes like the logs to dump or a boxcar to kick the boxes out of it. I thought this would be great for the grandkids, so I'll put it really close to the edge. But I need to paint it up first. So I painted it with kind of a reddish brown paint that I had. Did a little bit of weathering with a black wash. And then I took kind of a steel color and highlighted everything. So, pretty quick and easy. Went ahead and put some track on it and got the track ballasted. And here it is. I put it in this section right up against the edge of the road, so that the grandkids could push the little button and watch the boxcar kick out the boxes. So that'll be a lot of fun for them. We'll look at that in just a minute. So let's start over here, and you can see about where I've put it here, not too far from the crossing signal. But you'll also see that I've started to get some of my groundwork back. I've not only put in a bunch of my ballast, but I've also gone ahead with some static grass, and I've kind of re-landscaped some of these areas. This is where the flood was of paint about a month ago. And then you can see my my train for this month. It's going around in this area here, and kind of how this looks with the tall grass and the bushes, and of course all the ballast in place. I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm going to do something with this area right between the tracks. You can see there's a road on the other side there, but right between the tracks, I want to make a little swamp. I always wanted to try that. So this area right here, we're going to go ahead, and I've vacuumed it out so everything's cleaned out, and then we're going to take the next step.
Okay, here we go. We're going to put some static grass. Here's our base. We're going to get this glue ready. And then we are going to take our probe, stick it in the glue. Okay, and then spill everything. It's the only problem with doing it this way. find a way for that to, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my static grass, put it here on my static grass applicator, and we're going to be staticky. Get it down as close as I can, which with this contraption, it's the only problem with this one, it's kind of big, so an area like this is a little bit harder to get it down in there. But there you go, you get the idea. It's definitely being staticky, so all right. We'll wait for this to dry, we'll come back to the next step. So you can see I put in some well, some tall weeds or whatever you want to call it. I put some here and over here, I guess tall grass, whatever. So I'm now going to take the Realistic Water by Woodland Scenics, and I am going to pour it in this void here. And I might add, I'm going to try this murky color. I'm going to try and add a little bit of that to it. In fact, let me do this. Let me put it in a whole different container here. Okay, I'm going to put it in this container here, and I'm going to put a couple drops of the murky. Okay, 7, 8 drops of murky tint to it. I'm going to stir this up thoroughly. There we go, I should have done that to begin with, but oh well. I didn't. And now I'm going to pour it through here. Okay, I'm going to mix up another batch and do this little area here, and we'll be back, but you kind of get the idea. Okay, we got another batch made up. And we're going to pour it here. One more batch. That's as far as that would go.
I did make one little mistake, and right here where the wire goes through the board down to the button below, well, I did not seal that up, so some of it leaked down below, and well, did make a little bit of a mess. But here's the finished product, and with our train for April on the board running, no less. I think it turned out okay. I wanted kind of that mossy, swampy look, and what happened is when the Woodland Scenics Realistic Water, well, it kind of dissolved some of the glue down below, and in some areas my static grass kind of floated up, and it gave it this mossy look. How about that? I think it looks good. I think it looks like a good mossy, swampy. You can see everything but the mosquitoes. I mean, seriously. The little tall tufts of grass, maybe I should have put more. I don't know. First time I've done it, and I like the way that this turned out. And here you can see the Boxcar, and it pulls right up there. You push the little button. These two little guys kick out the boxes, and the grandkids absolutely love it. And then they take the boxes and they put them back in the Boxcar and kick it out. So this was a great idea, and it's worked out well. So over at the bar, I got some motorcycle riders, and I thought they would be perfect pulling up to the bar. And see, here you go with the train running by. And I got this area static grassed as well and landscaped. I think it looks a whole lot better than it did. I got all the ballast back in this area, and I've got a couple of trees planted, so I think this looks okay. And then there's the little town corner, and you saw that I did some of this work right after the earthquake, and I finally got the lines painted and everything the way I want it to look. I've put the mirror up to make it look like it, kind of goes on. I think that's a pretty decent effect. There's even a dude standing there on the corner by the mailbox, and of course the stop sign there as well. So moving clockwise, this next little area here, I've kind of got this where I'm putting my tools for right now, but you can see where I've got the static grass, and then I've got this big old hedge there in the background that covers that. It's kind of a blank spot. It's where I used to have the mirror, and I don't know what to put there right now. So I put this big long hedge, and guess what? It worked out just fine. I think it looks pretty good. Let's move over to the other end of the layout now, on the actual board piece right here by the Munsters home. You can see I've got a little chicken coop, and you can see where the little station is that you board the little scenery train. You can also see where I've got this area here with some more of the menagerie, the aviary, whatever you want to call it. But I've decided to kind of pave it in a red brick color. I've still got to put the lines in. So I took this this passenger station, threw a few people on the passenger station. Of course, I got a garbage can and a recycling can. Of course, I'd have that. There's a little guy with a cane back on the far left, or sorry, the far right-hand side, sitting on a little bench there. But I thought this would be kind of appropriate because where I'm going to put this is right here. I'm going to build a little siding, and this is the make-believe area where the train would drop you off and you go over to the little park and do whatever you're going to do in the park. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but I kind of like how that turned out. So now for our April train. This year, since I'm not doing an Easter train, I decided to pull out my Durango and Silverton. It had had some derailing issues in the past, and I wanted to try and work those out the best I could. So here it is. But the engine wouldn't quite run right on this track. So I took another different engine that I had. I put it on. I had to make some adjustments to my couplers, but well, I think I got it running. Let's take a look.